5 goals. Scored by 5 different goal scorers, away from home, in Europe, against one of the most dazzling and dashing sides around at the moment. That, from Arsenal, was footballing perfection. That, from Arsenal, was historic. Not since 2003 have Arsenal put in a result as significant as that. Think about that team. That was a team that ultimately went invincible in the Premier League. It was against an excellent Inter Milan team. I think Christian Vieri scored the goal for them that day. Arsenal, think about how long ago it was. Edu scored for them. Robert Pires, Freddie Ljungberg, Thierry Henry inspiring that team. And it has been a long time since we have seen Arsenal put in a performance of that nature. By that very logic, it was a historic performance. It was Mikel Arteta's best European performance, no doubt. And I don't like using this expression with regard to Arsenal. I use this expression very, very infrequently because it is massive. But that, from Arsenal today, was undoubtedly a delectable medley of footballing splendour. To be that assured at the back against a team who are free scoring, to be that imaginative and creative and solid and ruthless going forward. It was the perfect assured performance from Arsenal against one of the hottest strikers in world football. It was up there. And there are many Arsenal players that we can focus on. I thought Bukayo Saka was absolutely unplayable today. Totally brilliant. Saliba, so assured. Gabriel, so strong. Immense. But I also think that today we have to acknowledge the contribution and brilliance of Martin Odegaard. He is Arsenal. He is Arsenal personified. I didn't necessarily realise quite how brilliant he was until he wasn't around. You really do not know what you've got until it's gone, because Arsenal are a completely different entity with him back in the team. He has come back and he has totally transformed Arsenal's entire team. Everybody looks like a different player. Everybody looks like a brilliant player. Everybody looks like they are at their best because Martin Odegaard is back on that pitch. Some players do that. They inspire. They raise the tide of everyone around them. Everybody is a better player because Martin Odegaard is on the pitch. He is so vital. And look at Arsenal's performances over the last, 4 days? 8 goals scored. 8 goals against 2 very good teams. Playing Nuno Espirito Santo's Nottingham Forest is not easy. And then going away to Portugal in Europe against one of the form teams on the continent, it's massive. Arsenal really are gathering momentum. They look lively. They've got a buzz. They've got a spring in their step. They look uncongested. They look like their old self. And so much of that is down to Martin Odegaard's return to fitness. He is vital. And yesterday, on this very channel, I put a video up about Mohamed Salah. I was trying to explain quite how brilliant he is, quite how important to Liverpool he is, and how Liverpool's entire aspirations hang on the Mohamed Salah transfer saga. I think the similar story can be told with regard to Martin Odegaard's importance to this Arsenal team. Martin Odegaard is Cole Palmer from my perspective. He is Mohamed Salah if you are a Liverpool fan. He is Rodri if you are a Man City fan. Everything is different when they are on the pitch, and that is the hallmark of greatness. If you are the kind of player that makes everybody around them a better player, everybody around them, everybody in the stadium believes more because he's on the pitch. The entire tide rises simply because of his contribution. That is how good Martin Odegaard is. And it can sound dramatic, but I believe it to be true. Everything that Arsenal want this season is directly linked to Martin Odegaard's fitness and form. Everything that they hope happens this season is totally linked to Martin Odegaard's fitness and form. His impact tonight, the quality of his performance. You've got to also acknowledge that they have done it against one of the most informed teams on the continent. Playing Sporting away. Sporting have basically battered anyone that they have come up against. And to go over there and score 5 goals, scoring 5 goals in any game should never be sneered at. Scoring 5 goals away from home should never be sneered at. Scoring 5 goals in Europe should never be sneered at. Scoring 5 goals away from home in Europe, it's historic. It really is a huge, huge performance for Arsenal. It's actually the kind of result that could be season defining. Sometimes in a season, that you get that moment, that catalyst, and suddenly everything changes. The fans suddenly believe. There's a spring in the step. And do you know what? I've been on Twitter. I've been looking across Twitter following this game. And I've seen the Arsenal fans in that away end, and they are going potty. I follow this account. It's called AFC Charlie, something like that. And he's over there and he's singing, he's going mad, he's filming these videos. And you can see that there is genuine belief in the Arsenal away end. And that is massive. That is massive. And for what that could mean as they embark on the rest of their season, because they've had their blip, they'll be looking at the title, I think. I believe it's beyond them now, but I think they will be looking at the title thinking that if Man City, who we need to talk about in another video, but if Man City can get anything against Liverpool, suddenly that could open up the title race again. Because that performance in Lisbon, it was definitely the finest European away performance under Mikel Arteta's management. That's non-negotiable, isn't it? It really was a huge performance from him. And I think he needed that. I think the Arsenal team needed that. And we must remember that Sporting have basically battered everybody. And, they've battered everybody, and Arsenal have gone over there, and they've treated it like they're playing #United away in the cup. Just totally dictated it. 5 different goal scorers. It was all so easy. And there was a complete shutdown, wasn't there, of Gyökeres. Absolutely no drama. What's he done? He hasn't stopped scoring this season. 32 goals in his previous 23 games for club and country. And yet, comes up against Arsenal and all of a sudden it's fine. So this is exactly what Arsenal needed. This is exactly what Mikel Arteta needed, because there was some suggestion that he was getting it wrong. But it does show you the importance of Martin Odegaard. And if they can keep him fit as they embark on the rest of their season, there is a huge, huge opportunity for them. They have a massive London derby against West Ham coming up next. If they can somehow find rhythm, find form, and win that game, and then beat Manchester United, if they can find results in those 2 games, there is a chance that something mega could happen this season. There really is, because I discounted them. I didn't think it was possible, but sometimes you get the result and you're like, everything's changed. Those symbolic results that you look back on at the end of the season and you go, that's where it changed. We've got loads of examples of those. You get it in moments. You can actually have a moment in a game that changes a season. But I do believe that a statement result, going away to play Sporting and score 5 goals and totally dictate the tempo and have 5 different goal scorers, you couldn't really ask for much more than that. Arsenal back to winning ways in the Champions League. Gabriel Martinelli in amongst the goals again. Jurriën Timber in amongst the assists again. It is exactly what they need. And from an Arsenal perspective, I feel like it was basically perfection. They couldn't have asked for more than that. So Arteta will be over the moon, but it means nothing if they can't use it as a springboard, use it as a catalyst. This could be the genesis of Arsenal's season. Really interesting, isn't it? What a game it was, and what a game for Man City as well. I'm going to have to talk about that one. Thank you so much for watching this video. Do you agree with me? Do you agree that this result for Arsenal could be the turning point? Do you think it's as big as I believe it is? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a like. Please click subscribe, and I'll see you in a bit. Cheers. Have a good night.